Baylor was 2-7 last season. They opted not to participate in the postseason. Larry Fedora out as offensive coordinator after one glorious season where they couldn't run the ball and the offense was bad. Charlie Brewer is gone as well. He's off to Arizona, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Utah. Charlie Brewer's at Utah. Jacob Zeno or Jerry Bohannon, that's going to be your quarterback competition to watch. Jeff Grimes is the new offensive coordinator. He comes from BYU. So Jeff Grimes also, I believe, has offensive line coach background as well. Does that sound right? And so I think you got to be able to fix things up front. You got to be able to find a way to run the ball. And as offensive coordinator, you're going to be tasked with trying to figure out how to put it all together. Yes, offensive line coach at Auburn and Virginia Tech. I knew I had that from somewhere. So, like, when I saw the move, I thought, all right, Jeff Grimes, you just had Zach Wilson. Like, now it's time to cash in, right? Like, you're not going to be hotter as an offensive coordinator than you are. So you've got this opportunity. You're going to go to Baylor. Very interesting to see how things come together for the Bears offense. Dave Aranda, I guess we trust for the Bears defense, but that's not as many questions, especially with all the turnover that we have on offense. So as Dave Aranda prepares for year two, where's the expectations and the curiosity?
See, I am super pumped about Jeff Grimes.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
That Baylor offense was really fun to watch. And it was really interesting to watch. It was so good that Zach Wilson is now considered a better quarterback than Justin Fields. BYU. Like that, I feel like Zach Wilson is a very good quarterback who Jeff Grimes made look a lot better, because I think that offense was well designed and well schemed, and he did a very good job of getting receivers open.
He got Romney's wide open, multiples.
Exactly. So I think that, Baylor really needs an infusion of offense, because that offense was awful last year. Like it was, and to go from where they had been like the year before with Matt Rule to Dave Aranda, and it's like, obviously we kind of expected it with Aranda being his defensive coordinator background. You always see that kind of happen, but I think this is a very good move. And I think if I'm a Baylor fan, it's a move that excites me, because I think that alone will improve it. I don't think they're going to jump out to have the same kind of season BYU did, but this spring, that's what I'm watching if I'm a Baylor fan, because it's a very entertaining offense to watch. And like, just from whether you're watching like the all 22 crushing film or you're just watching it as a fan, there's a lot of little interesting wrinkles in there that you might enjoy.
I'm interested to see how much Dave Aranda lets him operate. Dave Aranda is kind of on my like no bet list as a head coach already. I thought his game management was really poor last year. He managed a game like somebody was like, he was going to go for it on fourth down, a lot of really, really short gains. And then they'd get to 4th and 3 on the opponent's 38 and punt. Yeah. I mean, like Dave Aranda kneecapped his team a lot of times, and that sucks for their offense. They had to play under him like that. We'll see if he adjusts as a head coach, but like the game management decisions were bad. Like just some of the worst you would see on a weekly basis. I know, Tom, if you were live betting that stuff, you were like, oh my God, like the algorithm's not going to count for this.
They were under gods last year.
Right. And it wasn't inefficiency, although it was, but like some of that stuff was really bad decision making. So I'm very interested to see that. We won't know in spring if he improves upon that. They were just so bad on offense last year in basically every area except for short passes. So I really wonder, like, what do they lose in Brewer? Was Brewer, like, Utah taking Brewer makes me wonder, like, if he was actually good, or maybe they're just taking a shot, like, because he was okay in 2019. I don't know. Like,
to drive home your point a little bit, Baylor punted on 47% of its drives last year. The only team in the Big 12 that punted more often was Kansas at 54.3%, and the national average was 38.4%. So Baylor punted about 10% more often than the national average team.
Yeah.
So Baylor was 100th in scoring offense last year, 23.3 points a game. When Grimes took over BYU in 2018, he was coming off a season BYU was 124th in scoring offense. Then he went from 79th to 67th to last year. They finished at number 3 with 43.5 points a game. Now, I hear what you're saying, Tom, about excited about Jeff Grimes, but there's a part of me that says, oh, Zach Wilson's going to be a top 3, top 5 pick in the draft this year. I don't know if Jacob Zeno or Jerry Bohannon are going to be those type of guys.
I hear that, but I don't think Zach Wilson's a top 3 or 5 quarterback in the draft this year without Grimes.
Right. And it goes hand in hand. I do think so, but he's clearly an incredibly talented quarterback. But I think you'll see improvement. But I'm with you. I would say, hey, if it wasn't working, which it wasn't, make a change, rip the Band-Aid off, go in a new direction. So I credit Dave Aranda for that. And I was wrong on Baylor last year. I thought they could be a 500 team, maybe even, I think I took the over on the win total for them last year and was disastrously wrong. No spring practice last year. They get that back. And it's kind of like all the first year coaches we talked about. Now you have the advantage of a full spring. Hopefully you're at the quarterback position. And you kind of feel like Aranda is a defensive minded guy, which clearly is where some of this punting comes from of, hey, trust your defense. The defense has to get better too. I mean, like, I just think this will be an improved team. It's just a matter of how much improvement do you see?